Texas League Baseball is next. And a good Wednesday night, everybody. We welcome you into Texas League Baseball. We are live in Midland, Texas, home of John Baker's town, and so far we turn it over to him as we get this broadcast underway. Well, thank you, Bob, and a good evening to everybody as we get set for Game 2 of our 6-game set between the visiting San Antonio Missions and your Midland Rockhounds. Well, tonight is a military appreciation night here at the ballpark. We salute those that serve in uniform, those that protect our communities, such as our police, our firefighters, our first responders, those that are in hospitals, and so much more. Anyway, our military as well that serve overseas, and medics, and a lot of personnel that we really appreciate. And so far, just got to absolutely love their support and their service to our great and wonderful country, and even a president like Donald J. Trump. We thank him for his service as being the 47th president of the United States. And so far, if he is watching, just thank you for your valiant service to the great USA. But anyway, we're about set to go here tonight, and yes, Bob did make it this evening. Bob, quick question. How was traffic getting out of San Antonio this morning? Well, I got to say, John, it has been really rough getting past IH-10 and 1604. And, yeah, so far, it was not that good getting through that. You know, all the road construction on that side of town, it was just rough trying to get through that. Well, I bet it was, Bob. But anyway, glad you are here tonight, and so far, you are here with me getting into a motel, and so far, we're doing pretty good. We got reservations. We got a Taco Villa for dinner, which this is our proud broadcast sponsor is Taco Villa, and yes, spice your life. And Bobby Cox created Taco Villa for Amarillo and Midland and not Frisco, but for the Permian Basin itself, you got Midland, Odessa, San Angelo, Hobbs, Amarillo, and all these other towns having a pretty good restaurant like Taco Villa. And I just really wish that Bobby Cox would expand his enterprises, put some in Frisco and Austin and San Antonio and places where they're much needed. And so far, it would have been pretty good to see that. I mean, especially in my hometown of Midland and Odessa, and so far coming out here to the Permian Basin. Absolutely love the Permian Basin. It's been my home for a long time, and to this day, it is still my home. And love my favorite ball clubs. These two teams are my favorite in all of the Texas League. The San Antonio Missions and Midland Rockhounds. And so far, yeah, we live in San Antonio, and we have a pretty good time with the San Antonio Missions, the Padres affiliate. And, yeah, we broadcast from our home ballpark there in San Antonio, Bob. Yep, and it's a good place to be, a good place to work. And also, at the end of the season, we say happy 5 years to John as he completes 5 years of being in this very booth with myself. And, yep, I know it's been 4 years. I've worked with this amazing and incredible guy, and so far just hope that there are many years to come between me and him, and I could be ever grateful to call him my friend and my partner and my baseball pal and a lot of other stuff. Well, thank you, Bob. I really appreciate that. And I can say the same about you, Bob. I mean, you and I are really good in the booth, and grateful to call you my friend and partner, and so far just pretty good as well. Well, anyway, we're into the pregame show, 16-4 yesterday. I mean, that was a butt whooping for Midland, and they really just let them have it. They just bashed the baseball. They got it right out of the ballpark. It was incredible on how they were literally working as a team, and that as a team should, and so far it was amazing on what they were doing. Anyway, we're going to see other scores here. We are popping up the scores as we go right now. And the Frisco Rough Riders leading Tulsa tonight. It's 1-0. Wichita up early on as they're the top half of the second there against Springfield. No score as top of the third inning, Northwest Arkansas taking on Corpus Christi. And, so far Arkansas and Amarillo are just getting underway now. But that was a real butt whooping in Amarillo. I mean, you look at what happened yesterday, and we'll give you final scores from yesterday. See, Frisco won 5-1, and Northwest Arkansas winning 8-2. Wichita did a 3-0 shutout finish against Springfield. Arkansas winning 11-1 in that contest, and I gotta say, that was pretty impressive right there. Right, Bob? Yeah, gotta say, that was a pretty good ball game there in Amarillo, and so far pretty good right there. Yep, it sure was. I do apologize. We do have the audio cut up really good. And so far we're just super excited that all of y'all are coming aboard on this Military Appreciation Night Wednesday. And Bob, glad you made it to Midland very safely, getting through all that San Antonio traffic. Ooh, it is a nightmare when we're getting through San Antonio. That the Alamo City itself is 500,000. It's a big town and stuff. And I got to say, it is just a punch in the face as it looks like. But it is busy, and so far we look at the traffic. I mean, where Bob came from was IH-10 and 1604. They're doing all that major road construction. You're going past JBSA Camp Bullis and that area going towards Bernie. You go to Bernie, and so far it's just major road work right in that area. Yeah, I gotta say, John, it really is. And tell you one thing, just glad to be here with you. And yeah, I missed last night being in Midland with you, but evidently you handled everything perfectly. And so far, just glad you did. Yeah, for sure. Well, anyway, we're going to take you downstairs now as our live broadcast about ready to go on this Wednesday evening. So far, a lot of clouds, and we do have a pretty good chance of rain and maybe a few rumbles of thunder, but evidently, who could tell about Mother Nature these days? Not like the people out there in Oklahoma. But anyway, a lot of clouds this evening. Jack Cushing, a right-hander, coming in for Midland. He's got a four-seam, a changeup, curveball, and a two-seam fastball coming in for Game 2 in this week's series. Well, the leadoff batter is left fielder Albert Fabian. And so far, he'll lead it off for San Antonio here on this Wednesday evening. And here's the pitch. That's a curveball down and in, and we are underway as first pitch in for a strike. It's 0-1. Well, early on scores, top of the third. Northwest Arkansas and Corpus Christi are scoreless. While Frisco leads a 3-0 lead against Tulsa. And that's strike 3, as that will pretty much do for the first strikeout here this evening. Well, Ethan Salas coming in. So far, Wichita has a early 1-0 lead against the Springfield Cardinals there at the porch. Crowd still piling in on this Wednesday night. Few clouds from time to time, but evidently cloud cover will start to intensify as we go through the evening. Yeah, I got to say, John, and there's a good chance of rain, like you said. Even in the western regions like Kermit and Andrews and so far Crane and McCamey and everywhere else. That is for sure. And that's right there. A changeup got him. And there's 2 down. 2 back-to-back strikeouts. And that's going to bring up Joshua Mears. Boy, and this guy did a phenomenal job yesterday. He had a big deal of finesse. He had a few home runs last night. Now, if you watched the broadcast, our final was 16-4. And evidently, San Antonio took that game like nothing else. That one's right there. Breaks the bat, and they'll throw down the first, avoid the shrapnel, and that will be it. So no runs, hits, or errors. Nobody left on for San Antonio. We head now bottom of the first. Rockhounds up to bat right after this. Angeles, Halter, and Nankill will lead it off for Midland when we come back. Bottom half of the first inning set to go for Midland in the Rockhounds Baseball Network. Well, we are getting Ryan Burgert here in Game 2. He will pitch for San Antonio this evening. Four-seam slider, changeup, two-seam, and the sweeper will be the 5 choices that he'll choose from. And so far, he will be on the mound for San Antonio. Shortstop is Arabel Angeles, as he'll lead it off for Midland. And here is the pitch by Burgert, and that one is high and outside for a ball. The count now 1-0. Well, Northwest Arkansas getting a 2-run shot to center field, and they'll lead Corpus Christi 2-0. Here's the 1-0. Outside, and that's a count now 2-0. First two pitches for a ball. And yep, he did not get that one. Here's the 2-0, swing and a miss, and finally in the count now 2-1. 2-1. Here's the delivery, and that's a swing and a miss right there outside. Count now 2-2. By golly, getting them to chase, and so far that will lack plate discipline. Here's the 2-2. And that one is high in the air, up to center field. Mears will get it, and there's one down. Let's give you the home team starting lineups. Is Angeles, Halter, and Nankiel will lead off three. Kurtz, Trinkle, Schwartz middle. Bolt, Swift, and McIver round out the batting order for the Midland Rockhounds this evening. Colby Halter, the second baseman, coming in. One out, nobody on. That's down and out inside for a changeup. The count now is 0-1. Boy, 3-0 for the Frisco Rough Riders. They lead Tulsa, bottom of the first inning there at Statesman's Park. No scores were underway in the first inning of play here tonight, and that's called third strike changeup. Outside, gets them down, and there's two away against Colby Halter. Nate Nankiel coming in. Set to go here this evening. And that's going to be ball one, as that'll be a pitch clock violation on Ryan Burgert. Here's the 1-0. And that's an inside strike, and that'll even up 1-1. Bottom of the first, two out, nobody on. Scoreless top of the first inning. And so far could be a scoreless bottom half of the first for Midland. Here's a 1-2. And that's going to be back up the middle. Line drive, a center field base hit. Pretty good as they get a leadoff hit.
Batting fourth, the first baseman, Nick.
And the fourth batter is Nick Kurtz. Kurtz coming in, ready to go. And the pitch. That is not a holdup, but a strike inside. And the count now 0-1. Here's the pitch. That one is high fly in the air, and that'll put him in the driver's seat at 0-2. So top of the second inning, Tulsa Drillers coming to bat against Batista, who was pitching in that one. And that's going to be a ball. The count now 1-2. And here's a 1-2. Swing! Got him! And that's a 1-2-3. So no runs on a hit, no errors. One left for Midland as we get set to go for the second inning. And through one, we have no score. Caston, Young, Campbell, and Roederer will lead it off in the second inning for San Antonio when we come back. Top half of the second inning for San Antonio, right now the Midland Rockhounds Baseball Network. Thank you, Bob. And that will bring in leadoff batter Marcos Castañon. First baseman here tonight for San Antonio. Takes that one down and outside. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Inning number 2 underway for the San Antonio Missions. That one is popped foul, and the count now will even at 1-1. 16-4 last night. Boy, San Antonio trying to win another game here on the road, and so far that'll be the count now, 2-1. Boy, like Corpus Christi last night against Northwest Arkansas series opener, that was not good. And for this year, Corpus Christi and Tulsa have not had a good first half at all. But evidently, Amarillo being down in 4th place, Corpus Christi in 5th place here in the South.
Outside, that's a ball.
And that's down and outside, that's in. Northwest Arkansas getting a little good. They're 35-36 of the year. Another win will put them tied at 36 against Arkansas, but evidently if Arkansas wins another in Amarillo, then it'll be 37. There'll be a game and a half against Wichita. So Arkansas trying to make a little push against the Sod Poodles. 3 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch, and that is chopped foul. The count now 3-2. We've got fans watching from San Antonio, and so far we're back just for a short 3 games against Corpus Christi next week. That's going to get down, line drive, and up to the left field wall, and Jacob Campbell is going to have a double.
Batting 6, the designated hitter, Cole.
So that is a Taco Villa double. What do we give these fans here in Midland, Bob? Well, I got to say, for that double, everybody gets 2 meat burritos courtesy of Taco Villa here in Midland. Here is Cole Roederer as he comes in, and he's going to hit that one straight to first, and he'll step on the bag easily for the out.
Batting 7, the third baseman,
Yendry Rojas will be the next batter up. He'll be our hot corner man. After tonight, we're left with 4 games in Midland. It was nice to see this place at least the first 6 times of the regular season. Now, seeing it for another 6 times. So a 12-game here in Midland. And maybe next year we'll have at least 16 here in Midland. That would be pretty nice. Yeah, I got to say, John, it would be a fat chance if San Antonio can actually get 16 games here in the Permian Basin. But evidently, they'll probably just stay with 12. Yeah, you're probably right, Bob. I mean, even though if 2026 has more North Division teams for San Antonio, that would be good. I mean, playing Arkansas and Tulsa, Wichita, Springfield, and Northwest Arkansas, that would be great. Yeah, I got to say, John, it sure would. I mean, to see the Arkansas Travelers and Tulsa Drillers, which those were the 2 teams you were very looking forward to seeing, and so far pretty good on that one. Well, the left fielder tries to go after that one, and that will be the count now at 2-2. Runner at third after a fly out. And look out, that will load the count full at 3-2. Second baseman Nerwillian Cedeno coming in. He's the 8-hole cleanup batter. And that is outside for ball 4. And that will put bases at first and third. Still 2 outs. And San Antonio trying to strike at least for a bit.
That's a ball.
There's right there the count now 1-0 to the second baseman, Nerwillian Cedeno. So San Antonio might get a little rain this evening. Fans are reporting a big giant wall cloud, which that's pretty nice. Evidently rain curtains along with that. Arkansas leads Amarillo 2-0. And that's in for a strike. The count now at 2-1. You know, work on base and show that you do have plate discipline. Managers love that these days. And the pitch. And he did not hold up, and that will go down as a strike. And the count now even 2-2. First and third, 2 away. It is 2.5 with no score right now, but runner at third.
3-2.
90 feet away will put the first run on the board for San Antonio. Shortstop Leo Dallas DeVries awaits on deck for the Missions if they could get another walk here and load up bases. And that's going to be right there, and that's going to get down. That will bounce the wall.
He's good.
Not in time as they tried to get him.
The shortstop, number 94.
So San Antonio strikes first. It's now a 1-0 ball game. And we need to see where that is. Will they show instant replay? Well, I don't know about that, John, but evidently that ball was a line drive fair. And so far, the Missions to strike first in this ball game. Well, that will be the changeup down and in for a strike. The count now 0-1 to the shortstop Leo Dallas DeVries. So, first and third, boy, trying to get something going. You know, crush the dirt out of that baseball. That one's going to be high fly, and that's going to get down. And that's going to put runners at second and third. Boy, DeVries gets a double, and so far, John, pretty good. Yep. Another well-crushed ball right there, as that was the right field area on that camera shot. And San Antonio now leads Midland 2-0. It could be a lot worse. You know, but last night, that 16-4 ball game was caused by the starter, who had a lot of difficulties, and then the relievers that came in before the starter. They all had their intended purposes of having some sort of difficulties. Yeah, I got to say, John, they absolutely had a lot. You know, their pitching was not perfect, and it was not good. Yeah, I got to say, Bob, it was not. But anyway, tonight, San Antonio and Midland both have pitcher duels tonight. So hopefully there will be something going on. Got a strike inside as the count now 1-2. And that's fouled off behind the net, and that will land out of play. On Northwest Arkansas having a 2-run lead against Corpus Christi. And that will pretty much do it. But 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and they leave 2 on base. So that will pretty much do for this half inning. Well, we go to the bottom of the second. San Antonio leading this game 2-0. As that'll bring in Caden Trinkle, Schwartz, and Bolt coming in for Midland when we come back. All right, about ready to start the bottom half of the second for Midland, right now on the Rockhounds Baseball Network. Thank you, Bob, and Caden Trinkle ready to get back in this ball game. And so far now, San Antonio leading this game. And that's going to be well hit. Castagnon steps on the bag, and that's out number one.
The designated hitter, Nick Schwartz.
Boy, Northwest Arkansas getting a 3-0 advantage against Corpus Christi. Designated hitter is Nick Schwartz. Wichita leading Springfield 2-1. Top of the third for the Drillers. But Frisco up by the 3-0 lead against Tulsa.
0-1.
San Antonio leading 2-0 against the Rockhounds. And the pitch, that out. Ooh.
Got him right there.
Right there in the back.
Batting seven, the center fielder, Henry.
Henry Bolt coming in as he takes a slider outside. The count now at 1-0. So far, they could see a little bit of rain here this evening in Midland. And the 1-0. That's inside for a strike. And the count now at 1-1. Here's the pitch. And that will foul off. And the count now 1-2. A nice Wednesday here, but evidently a lot of clouds, so that means one thing. We could see clouds glowing orange hues tonight. That one's going to be foul. The count now 1-2. We got a great crowd here tonight, the ballpark, right, Bob? Got to say, for Midland, it is a pretty good crowd. Yeah, it sure is. Got a lot of chairs, a lot of empty seats, too. And a lot of tickets, so make sure you guys come on out and get going. Here's a 1-2. And that's going to be right there. Line drive up to right field. That's a base hit. And here comes the next batter up, and that's 90 feet away. First and third, Henry Bolt gets a single.
Batting eight, the third baseman.
And boy, pretty good right there, as that'll bring up Drew Swift. Swift has been on the Rockhounds since 2022. And pretty good right there. That's going to be lifted high. And they're looking for it. No, they drop it. And that's a run in to score. It will land into a base hit. And don't know if the sun got that one guy. I don't really know what had happened. But evidently, it will land pretty much right there. Willie McIver coming in. Hits that one out of play. The count now 0-1. The sun is passing second base into the outfield. 2-1 our score. San Antonio leading by a run. Midland needs 2 to catch up and take the lead. But evidently, we'll see what happens here in tonight's broadcast. That's right there. Line drive, straight away up to left field. That's a base hit. 1 run scores, 2 runs looking like they're trying to come in. And Midland will tie up the ball game, and they got second and third now as Willie McIver gets a double. And so far, another base hit would put 2 more on the board for Midland. Here's Irabel Angeles as he takes the first pitch in for a strike. Gets the count now at 0-1. Well, I got to say, John, that was pretty nuts. And we look at that last play, and it was, pretty good right there. Yep, I agree. It sure was. Right there, 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 away, 2-1. 2 runs in this half inning. And boy, the lead for San Antonio has really evaporated. And the pitch right there and in, and the count now 1-2. A lot of kids tonight on summer vacation, and yes, we do see a lot here at the ball game. We've got pretty much a full house, and that's going to be right there. Here comes a runner. It's in to score, and Midland will take the lead. It's now the Rockhounds 3, San Antonio 2. RBI that comes on in, and so far pretty good. So that will be a runner out there at second. Colby Halter coming in. So 3-2 Midland here in the bottom of 2. This game's still getting underway. And hopefully that Midland will overturn things and get their 40th of the season. You know, and they're up against Frisco. Frisco needs to win in order to take second place in the South Division. And that is right there. Strike 3 called, and that will pretty much do it. But evidently, if Midland wins and Frisco wins, it's another tie until tomorrow night. Well, we head to the third. 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors, and they leave 2-1. We now head to the top of the third. Ethan Salas will lead it off, along with Mears and Castagnon for the top of the third. We'll be right back in our broadcast. Well, we're about set to go for the third inning for San Antonio. Ethan Salas coming up to bat. Boy, now it turns into a big lead for Northwest Arkansas. 5-0 against Corpus Christi as they're now into the top of the fifth inning. Wichita has a 2-run lead against Springfield. They're at the Porch. So far, tight ball game. Arkansas and Amarillo at 2-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, Ethan Salas. Getting in. Oh, excuse me. Top of the third inning for San Antonio. And that curveball is outside. The count now at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Don't forget it's Thursday tomorrow, so everybody know what day that is in San Antonio. Everything is $2. So if you come to the ballpark and you watch our broadcast here, every away game we're going to have a broadcast on the big, beautiful scoreboard. That's right there. Get them by a step, and that's out number 1.
The center fielder, Joshua Mears.
Well, Joshua Mears coming in. You know, so far the baddest teams of the Texas League right now has been Corpus Christi and Tulsa.
1-0.
So far, it hasn't been a very good year for those two teams, and we all look at it. I mean, looking at them right now, 23-47 for Corpus Christi, Tulsa 26/44. And, you know, if Tulsa loses to Frisco tonight, it's loss number 45. If Corpus Christi wins or loses against Northwest Arkansas, it's their 48th of the season. That's just rough. You know, and I got to say, it really is when you think about it. Because, you know, I guess those two teams are so tired. They're just ready for the season to end, ready for the year to end. They're ready for Christmas break, well, Thanksgiving, holidays such as Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's, which they get a long time to have a big, long break and stuff. Well, Marcos Castañon coming in, and he hits that one high in the air up to the right field area. Boy, they're giving it a chase. That gets down, base of the wall, and that's going to be a stand-up double for Marcos Castañon.
Now batting, number 7.
Well, got to say for Northwest Arkansas, 5 runs on 4 hits, no errors. And for Corpus Christi, it's only 2 hits. So not a good evening for Corpus Christi. I mean, if they continue to struggle in that ball game there at Bayfront Park, that's not a good thing to even think about. Yeah, I know what you mean, John. When you lose down by a lot, it is rough around the edges when we all look at it. Yeah, it sure is there, Bob. So Jacob Campbell coming in, got a 1 ball, 1 strike count, 56 pitches for Jack Cushing, 3 innings of work, and he's really been everywhere. That one high in the air up to left field, and that will do it. They leave a base runner stranded, and it's no runs on a hit, no errors, and 1 left on. 3.5. Midland leads this game 3-2. Nankill, Kurtz, and Trinkle will lead off the bottom of the third for Midland when we come back. Bottom half of the third inning for Midland right now on the Rockhounds Baseball Network. Well, Nate Nankiel coming in as we lead off the bottom of three for the Rockhounds. That's a pitch inside. The count now at 0-1. Tie ball game, Arkansas and Amarillo. 2-2, the score there at Water Ridge Field there in downtown Amarillo. 0-1. Swing and a miss. Slider gets him off chasing, and the count now 0-2. Nothing changed in the scores here in the Texas League. And right there, called third strike. They got him down. So strike three for Nate Nankiel. Nick Kurtz is coming in. And here's the pitch. That one skied to left field. Fabian getting right after it and makes the play, and there's two down.
The left fielder, number 10, Caden Trinkle.
There comes Caden Trinkle, the left fielder. And that is out of play. The count now 0-1. I do believe after Arkansas is done this week in Amarillo, they'll head to Frisco. Next Friday is 4th of July weekend, and so far everybody be out on their boats or the beach or whatever they do on the 4th of July. Right there up to right field, and that will pretty much conclude the inning, and that will be the side retired. So no runs, hits, errors, nobody left on for Midland. We head to the fourth inning, and the Rockhounds lead this game 3-2. Cole Roederer, the designated hitter, comes up. Third baseman Rojas, second baseman Cedeno will follow in from behind. And it's a 3-2 ball game. Midland in front by 1. Well, anyway, we're going to go ahead and talk about 4th of July activities. And so far, it's nearly that time as we celebrate Independence Day. And Bob, anything you do for fun or what you used to do back in the day? Well, usually we go out to the beach, we let the sand between our toes, and so far it just feels pretty nice to get out there and just really enjoy life. We wait till the nighttime, and so far we're ready to celebrate with fireworks, and it is just really good that we celebrate what Independence Day is. It is the day of freedom and the day that we celebrate a country that we all love, and that's the great USA. That's right, Bob. Thank you for sharing that. And so far as we get set to conclude the last 3 games in San Antonio against Corpus Christi, I got to say, we are going to really have something really good for y'all. And as we celebrate the 1st through the 3rd of July, every night's going to be fireworks night. So come on out, bring the kids, the family. I mean, we are just super excited that we get to have something fun and something beautiful that we can all remember. And yep, we are headed off to Corpus Christi, and do believe Ben Gelman will be out doing his 9 games. He'll have 3 against Corpus Christi, and then he'll head off to Wichita to do those broadcasts. And then finally, it's 4 days being off. We have whatever we can. You know, we're going to be off until the 19th, I think. We start the second half on that. And so far, baseball season is nearly halfway over. I mean, 2025 is almost over. But anyway, it's going to be pretty good. You know, San Antonio being in first place, the missions are doing really good this year, and hopefully they'll get off into the playoffs and win a Texas League title. That would be nice. But anyway, we lead it off to the top of the fourth as the designated hitter Cole Roederer comes in. So far, it is Roederer, and so far it'd be Cedeno and Castagnon, and that's going to be right there in the count now, 0-2. We'll get an update from the Amarillo area, Arkansas. Arkansas has a 3-2 lead against Amarillo. Bottom of 4. Boy, bottom of the 5th inning for Corpus Christi. They trail by 5. Northwest Arkansas has a 5-run lead against the Hooks. So, got to say, still not doing good is Corpus Christi. Third baseman Yendry Rojas on deck for the Missions. A full count now for Cole Roederer. That one's going to be high in the air, and they're going to give a chase, and that's going to get down. And that will be a stand-up double for Roederer. So pretty good on that one. So that'll bring in Yendry Rojas as he comes in. Runner at second. That is a tying run. Rojas, the go-ahead, takes that one down and in. And the count now at 1 ball and no strikes. Boy, it's continuing to be a pretty good ball game there in Frisco. I should say that would be pretty good right there. That one is outside the count now, 2-0. You know, the thing about it is that Rojas has a pretty good plate discipline as well, you know? Yeah, John, got to say, he really does. He's been watching, and so far, the hot corner guy never ceases to amaze a lot. Yeah, for sure. Anyway, that is ball 3. Willie and Cedeno on deck now. Three balls and 1 strike. Here's the pitch. That one popped up high in the air. And all the outfielders try to corral this ball. And it is the shortstop that gets there, making the play for the out. And that'll bring in Nerwillian Cedeno. Well, Amarillo ties it up against Arkansas. It's 3-3. And that's inside for a strike. The count now 0-1 to the second baseman, Cedeno. Rough Riders, bottom of 5 now. And, yep, so far still leading 3, so it could be their ball game. Now, if Midland wins against San Antonio and they defeat them here tonight, then they'll win 40. Frisco has to beat Tulsa to win 40. If Midland wins, then they'll continue the second place trend. And if Frisco loses to Tulsa, then that will be the Rockhounds keeping second place. San Antonio needs to win this one. And hopefully trying to this evening. That one will fall down and outside. The count now at 2-2. And right there, strike 3. Cedeno down on strikes. 5th one tonight for the starting pitcher. That'll bring up shortstop Leo Dallas DeVries as he'll take a ball. And the count now at 1-0. Here's the 1-0. And that is outside and even up 1-1. Well, so far, pretty sunsets coming into place. Those clouds to the right-hand side of your screen glowing a little bit of hue on that, and that's the count now at 1-2. Dodson and Bowden, a righty and a lefty, warming up in the bullpen. So far, Jack Cushing now at 77. Pitches 4 innings, and boy, a lot of 3-ups. And a lot of balls and all types of stuff. Golly. So far, I'm looking in Corpus Christi, and it looks like they've got some wind turbines they just put up. No, brand new. And I bet the state of Texas had to pay a lot of money for that stuff over there. Well, right there, that will do it. No runs, hits, or errors, and nobody left on for San Antonio here in this half inning. 4.5. Midland leads 3-2. Schwartz, Bolt, and Swift will lead it off when we come back in the bottom of 4. And the Rockhounds lead this game 3-2. All right, leading off the bottom of the 4th inning for Midland is Nick Schwartz. Take it away, John. Thank you, Bob. Here for the bottom of 4, 6, 7, 8, due up against Ryan Bergert.
1-0.
1 ball and no strikes to the leadoff man of the 4th inning. And that's going to be right there. Swung on and missed. The count now 1-1. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be right there. Ground ball, Cedeno has it. Flip it to Castagnon, and that will be 1 down.
The center fielder, Henry Bolt.
Henry Bolt coming in. It's 1-for-1 single. Well, as of tonight, the Midland Rockhounds and San Antonio Missions have 10 more games of the year of these two ball clubs facing off each other. First half, they'll play this one, and second half, after the short 3-game set against Amarillo. Sod Poodles for a leadoff 3, and then it'd be Midland for 6, which that would be pretty good as well. So far with 2026 and the schedules coming in, that would be pretty good as well. I think they're working on them tonight, and hopefully we'll have announcements by August. Hopefully San Antonio will see a better schedule this next upcoming season. Hopefully more North divisions. Well, that'd be pretty nice. Instead of getting 3 of those North Division teams like Northwest Arkansas, Wichita, and Springfield.
The third baseman, number 16.
Third baseman is Drew Swift. He's 1-for-1 RBI single back in the second. Frisco still a 3-0 ball game, top of the 6th inning. It's a tie ball game there at Wateridge Field in downtown Amarillo against the Arkansas Travelers. It's 3-3. Northwest Arkansas still leading a 5-0 ball game there against Corpus Christi. Bottom of the 6th inning. I got to say, that game there is going 3 up, 3 down. They just got grounded into a double play. So they do get a hit and nobody left on. So, gotta say, that is just rough around the edges. When you're down by 5 runs that Northwest Arkansas has, and gotta say, just not doing too good. That's a line drive up to left field, and that will pretty much end this half inning. So 4 innings in the books, and no runs, hits, or errors, nobody left on. We head to the 5th as Fabian Salas and Mears will lead it off. Midland will have a 3-2 advantage against San Antonio, and we'll have a new arm coming up right after the break. Well, we're top of the fifth inning for San Antonio in the Mission's baseball net. Well, the Rockhounds baseball network. I apologize. Yeah, there you go, Bob. Wakey, wakey. Are you asleep or something?
Number
No.
51.
Well, here is Ben Bowden as he comes in. Boy, and the sky is starting to
Leading off for San
get
Antonio,
going.
the left fielder, number 30.
Left fielder Albert Fabian coming in as he is set to go here. Boy, a lot of 3-up, 3-down innings, and that's going to be a ground hopper right there to first, and they'll step on the bag easily. It's a play made out there at first base.
Now batting.
So one down as Fabian is retired. Arkansas has a lead against Amarillo. It's 6-3. Boy, a 3-run homer in the top of the fifth inning. They'll untie the ball game against Amarillo, and I'm going to say pretty good. We're now getting a new score up in Wichita. It's 7-1 against Springfield. And that is going to be popped out of play in the count now, 0-2. Still the same in Corpus Christi. Northwest Arkansas has a 5-0 lead, and so far the Northwest Arkansas Naturals having that 5-run. They have a runner in scoring position. That one hit to first, and they'll step on easily for out number 2.
Center fielder, number 14, Joshua Mears.
Well, Joshua Mears coming in. He's 0 for 2, strikeout and a ground out. And the pitch. Outside, and that's 1 ball and no strikes. Man, and we're starting to see that hue. Big cumulus cloud, like right in front of us. This Midland glowing orange. And San Antonio has clouds this evening, right, Bob? Yeah, they do have a little bit of shower activity, but it's nothing serious there in San Antonio. Even though we're getting some pretty good pictures from our fans there at Wolf Stadium. And yeah, just a glowing orange sky. They go out to the center field area, and boy, they are really taking them pictures. They're coming in to us from our email, so that's pretty good. Yeah, pretty good there, Bob. Well, no runs, hits, or errors, nobody left on for San Antonio. We now head to the bottom of the fifth. And it's 3-2 for the Rockhounds. Willie, McIver, Angeles, and Halter will lead it off in the bottom of 5 when we come back. set to go for the bottom of the fifth inning for Midland right now on the Rockhounds Baseball Network. Willie McIver coming in. Well, great job there, Bob. You knew that we are the bottom of five. Well, Northwest Arkansas, they're the bottom half of the stretch inning there in Corpus Christi. It is 6-0 Northwest Arkansas. Arkansas, another 3-run homer. And boy, they are 9-3 against Amarillo. They are really getting going. Here's the 0-1. That one is skied. That one is deep. And that is gone. And Midland getting their fourth home run. Boy, tell you one thing, it's pretty good that the Rockhounds getting after it tonight after losing last night by a butt whooping. Boy, 16-4. San Antonio took that game. And they really gave it to them. Whoop 'em to kingdom come. That's right there. Sedane Castagnon has it. But Sedano was out reinforcing Castagnon. Oh, Colby Halter coming in now. 0 for 2 and 2 strikeouts. And the pitch. That's inside, strike, and the count now at 0-1. No balls, 1 strike to Halter. 57 pitches. And yep, so far, the pitcher for Midland got relieved after 75.5 pitches. And that is right there out of play. The count now still holding 0-2. Maybe we'll see a lot more clouds tomorrow evening. And that is right there, swing and a miss, and that is the 6th strikeout for Ryan Bergert. Nate Nankiel, the right fielder, 1 for 2, a single, comes in and so far is ready to go. Boy, and a lot of high-scoring games tonight. Northwest Arkansas, 6-0 against Corpus Christi. But into 5 right now for this half inning. And we'll tell you some more scores as we progress forward into our stream. End of 5. But Midland gets a home run by Willie McIver. And it's on now to the 6th inning. Midland leads San Antonio 4-2. And Marcos Castagnon will lead it off for San Antonio. Well, go ahead, give you some Texas League scores. Northwest Arkansas leading Corpus Christi 6-0. Wichita leads Springfield 7-1. Frisco leading Tulsa 3-0. Arkansas leading Amarillo 9-3. And so far, there's your Texas League scores in this broadcast. But we'll be right back as we bring you up to the top half of the 6th inning. And we'll be right back on our broadcast. Well, we are the top half of the sixth inning for San Antonio right now on the Rockhounds Baseball Network. All right, well, we're set to go on this Wednesday night, and so far that pitch is outside, and the count now is 1-0 and no strikes. Emmanuel's and Jamokioka coming in for Midland in the bullpen. Yep, so far the Tulsa Drillers getting in and scoring in a run, so that's pretty nice. That one right there, swing and a miss. The count now at 1-1. Yep, getting that orange hue from these clouds. And that is right there, the count now at 1-2 strikes. And the pitch, that one high and outside, 2-2. Bowden now first 13 pitches on his should I say it's reserve pitching for Midland. Full count, right fielder Jacob Campbell coming in. Cat got my tongue and stuff. I really didn't know what to say right there, but I was speechless for a second. 3-2 strikes to Castagnon. And the pitch is right and found, and the count now still holding at full. That's 3-2 strikes. Here's the 3-2 delivery. Swing and a miss. Castagnon down on strikes.
The batter, number 7.
That'll bring in right fielder Jacob Campbell. And that's going to be high fly in the air up to center. And the center fielder makes a catch.
Now batting.
That ball nearly getting down.
Roderer.
And that'll bring up Cole Roderer. 2 down, 4-2 ball game, top of the sixth inning. Midland leading 2-run, and San Antonio trailing those 2 runs. And that's going to be a ground ball, intercepted by second base, throw to first, and in time, that ends the inning. No runs, hits, errors, nobody left on for San Antonio as we head to the bottom half of the sixth inning, and middle half of the order set to due up. And it is Kurtz, Trinkle, and Schwartz to lead it off. Rockhounds lead 4-2 against San Antonio, and we'll be right back. All right, we head now to the bottom of the sixth inning for Midland. Right now, the Rockhounds Baseball Network. Nick Kurtz is leading it off. 4-5 at 6, due up, bottom of 6. As he takes a strike inside, it's the count now at 0-1. Game 3 of 6 tomorrow night. First pitch at 7:05. And right there in the count now at 0-2. Wichita adds another 2 on their scoreboard. They lead Springfield 8-1. Nothing changed in Amarillo. Still a 9-3 score as Arkansas having all them runs. They had 3 home runs. Pretty much all of them were triples. 9-3 for Arkansas. And boy, as of last night, they won against Amarillo by the final score 11-1. Boy, that was a serious whooping for the Sod Poodles. Boy, and I bet they felt that all the way throughout the Panhandle. Yeah, and San Antonio whooped Midland 16-4 in the first game. Yeah, they sure did. I bet people in San Antonio were laughing about that. They're like, the Rockhounds, they love to get them whoopings. And that's right there, the count now at 0-2, Decade and Trinkle. Boy, going to be a pretty good, interesting night for these two ball clubs. That one's outside for a ball, and the count now 1-2. Burgard's saying, okay, why was that call not in for a strike? It's because it was not in the strike zone. If you want to aim for that strike zone to get strikes, you need to aim better in order to get that strikeout. So right there, called third strike, and just like that, one down.
Now batting, the designated hitter.
And boy, I tell you one thing, that Caden Trinkle was not happy. And so far, I don't blame him as he shook his head, but now he is out of the ball game. Here is Nick Schwartz. Not ejected out of the ball game, but evidently going back to the dugout. Here's the 0-1. That one gloved by Rojas. And standing back in is the first runner out there at first base. That'll bring in Henry Bolt. Bolt coming in, ready to go, and the pitch. There's a swing and a miss. The count now 0-1. 1 for 2, single and a run. The 0-1, and right there out of play. And the count now 0-2. One more strike here in this half inning, and it's on out to the 7th after that. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Got him. And 7th inning we go, as that will be the side retired. So no runs on a hit, no errors, 1 left on. As we head to the top of the 7th inning, it's 4-2 Midland. So back here is a new arm will get up on the hill for Midland as we start the 7th inning for San Antonio with the Missions. And we'll be right back. All right, top half of the seventh inning for San Antonio right now on the Rockhounds Baseball Network.
Pitching for the Rockhounds.
Stevie Emanuel's coming out now as he will do some relief pitching on the hill for Midland. Four-seam, a slider, and a cutter. He's got 3 pitches to choose from. But what would his weapon of choice be? That would be the nasty cutter. Ooh. Yep, I would agree. Well, the third baseman is Yendry Rojas. Boy, Sky starting to get that orange hue just to the right-hand side of your screen. And yeah, love evenings like this. I hope we see some more evenings like this tomorrow night. But pretty good right there. Still no score change in the Texas League. Everybody's still the same. That one is high fly in the air up to the right field area. And that is out number 1. Well, 4-2 Midland against San Antonio. Northwest Arkansas is 6-0. Wichita 8-1 against Springfield. Frisco 3-1 against Tulsa. Arkansas 9-3 against Amarillo. That one right there, outside, 1 ball and no strikes to Norwillian Cedeno. Here's the pitch, and that is out of play. The count now 1-1. So far for San Antonio, got the rest of this series against Midland. We'll have a split half against Corpus Christi. And then, well, 3 at San Antonio, 3 at Corpus Christi. Then it's off to Wichita. And then it's pretty much it for the first half. That one is line drive right there, and that is off the wall. And that will be a 1-out double for Cedeno.
Number 94.
So pretty good right there. And so far it is. Leo Dallas DeVries coming in. He's 1 for 2 of the evening. Takes a strike inside as the count now 1 for 2. RBI double in the second by DeVries. Game 3 tomorrow night, 7:05 through Sunday, I do believe, or Sunday could be an afternoon ball game, but evidently that would be good as well. That's right there, and that's a stolen base. William Cedeno will head from second to third, and luckily did not get picked off. That'll bring up Albert Fabian. Fabian, the leadoff batter in the San Antonio lineup, comes in. Takes a strike, and it's the count now 0-1. Runner at third, tying run, that is Fabian. I'll tell you one thing, it is rough around the edges. That's a swing to miss right there. The count now 1-2.
2 strikes.
Boy, just getting ugly for pretty much Corpus Christi and Tulsa. But the Drillers only trailing 2 against the Frisco Rough Riders. There is Statesman's Park. Here's the pitch, and that is fouled off. Boy, sunset coming into full effect here. And that's going to be high fly in the air. And that is right there, and that will conclude the inning. No runs on a hit, no errors, 1 left as Cedeno is stranded at third. So time to get up a stretch. Midland leads this game against San Antonio 4-2. And that will pretty much be it. Swift, McIver, and Angeles will lead it off in the bottom of the 7th inning when we come back. Well, hope everybody had a good stretch inning because we got more baseball ahead for us here in Midland, Texas. Take it away, John Baker. Thank you, Bob. Drew Swift is coming in now. And, yep, we are looking like a pitching change is coming in, and that's going to be right there. That's a fair ball, and that's going to get down. We're a no-out single by Swift.
Now batting, catcher Willie.
Boy, it's bottom half of the ninth inning there for Corpus Christi, down to their last strike. And, yep, that is the ball game. Northwest Arkansas winning that one. Jason Blanchard coming in. So, yep, it is the bottom of the seventh there in Amarillo. Arkansas leading 10-3 against the Sod Poodles.
Now pitching for San
And we're going to have Jason Blanchard, a left-hander, come in to do the first reserve pitching. Four-seam slider, changeup, and a two-seam fastball coming in. Frisco hopefully trying to escape Tulsa. Drillers have a 2-run trail against the Frisco Rough Riders. Willie McIver coming in now as he'll take a strike inside. 2 for 2, a home run, double, 2 RBIs, and a run will come in. Runner at first, nobody out here for Midland. And here's the 0-1. That one's going to be right there. Cedeno to DeVries. They get them both. DeVries and Castagnone, a 4-6-3 double play. And that will kill 2 birds with 1 stone. The old saying is you can knock 2 birds in the head with just 1 stone and it'll kill them both. Urabel Angeles comes in. Takes a strike inside as the count now 0-1. Well, Northwest Arkansas beats Corpus Christi 6-0. So that was a shutout. And pretty much Corpus Christi now getting their 48th loss of the season. So, yeah, that was pretty rough around the edges. That's right there high in the air, and that will end the 7th inning. So a 1-2-3 inning for Midland, as that will do for the side retired. 8th inning coming up. Salas, Mears, and Castagnone will lead it in the 8th. Rockhounds lead 4-2 against San Antonio, and we'll have another right-hander reliever coming up in this ball game. Top half of the 8th inning on this Wednesday night. And it's a 4-2 lead for Midland as they lead this game by 2 runs.
For the Rockhounds,
Shohei Timokioka coming in now as he'll pitch in relief for Midland here in the top of the 8th inning. Timokioka now pitching for the Rockhounds. Ethan Salas coming in as he'll strike up next. He'll take a ball down and in. It's 1 ball and no strikes. 9,404 tonight. Well, we got packed house. Timokioka from his home of Okinawa, Japan. Getting in from the States. My sister-in-law that was there the first time round when she's in military service was back in Okinawa. And that right there is the count now 3-1. Joshua Mears is the tying run for San Antonio. Top half of the 8th inning. Arkansas leading Amarillo 10-3. That is ball 4. And what a great holdup by Ethan Salas. He gets on a free pass to first base. Center fielder is Joshua Mears. Mears coming in. He's ready to go and got to say pretty good on that. Anyway, do believe. Well, we have, let's see, we've got our 6 ball clubs going this evening. Wichita having a 8-1 lead, so they will lead by a 7-run margin against Springfield.
The first baseman, number 6.
Marcos Castañon, the first baseman, comes in. Runner at first, 1 away here in this ball game, and that's going to be a ground ball right there. And they'll flip to first. And they got him easily for out number 2. Well, got final scores pouring in. Northwest Arkansas beats Corpus Christi 6-0. Frisco beats Tulsa 3-1. And yep, those were the first 2 scores in. And that is inside for a strike. The count now 0-1. So far, a pretty good time tonight for Midland as they get in. Get something going here. Jacob Campbell 0-2, but ouch. That was close by. So 1 ball, 2 strikes to count now to the right fielder. And that is called third strike. And they got him down.
Leading off for Midland.
Well, we head to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Colby Halter will lead it. Still a 4-2 ball game as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning when we come back. Well, we're bottom half of the 8th inning for Midland right here in the Rockhounds Baseball Network.
The second baseman, Colby.
Colby Halter coming in now as he gets ready to go against Jason Blanchard. 2, 3, and 4 due up. The Rockhounds bottom half of the 8th inning, and that's going to be a strike inside to count down 0-1. Halter is looking at home plate umpire David Bowsley. And, yep, he is not happy about that. And the pitch, that is out of play. The count now 0-2. Arkansas 11-3 against the Amarillo Sod Poodles. Boy, it is a pretty good game there in Springfield, or should I say Wichita, but evidently it's pretty good. Still going strong here in Midland on this Wednesday night. That has popped out of play, foul. The count now 0-2. Well, evidently we'll say goodbye one last time in the first half of this season, right after July 3rd, but evidently we'll be back again. That one right there, swing and a miss. Colby Halter gets down on strikes.
The right fielder, number 19.
And so far, pretty good on that. Right fielder, Nate Nankill. Coming in and is ready to go. The pitch, that's down and in, change up. And the count now at 1-0. Wichita having 2 more outs, and it'll be the top of the 9th for Springfield. The Porch is a pretty good baseball stadium for Wichita out there in Wichita, Kansas. Two balls, no strikes to Nate Nankill. 3 games at Corpus Christi. San Antonio will head to Wichita from Corpus Christi. And that is inside for a strike. The count now 2-1. Arkansas leads a 7-run lead against Amarillo, and it's not looking good for the Sod Poodles tonight. Winning last night, Arkansas by 11-1, and now tonight,
now batting,
same as what they did last night. Nick Kurtz is coming in, 1 for 3 single. Last time around, here's the pitch. That is high fly in the air, and that is up into left field. And Fabian will make the play, so that will pretty much do it. No runs, hits, or errors. Nobody left on for Midland as we head to the 9th inning. And the Rockhounds lead this one 4-2. We'll have another reliever coming in to close the door on this one. And Midland leads it 4-2 against San Antonio. Well, we're top of the ninth inning for San Antonio right now on the Rockhounds Baseball Network. Well, our last half inning of play here tonight, Pedro Santos getting the closing door assignment. Four-seam cutter, 12-6 curve, circle change, and a sinker. And so far, got to watch out for the 12-6 curve because he'll get you out looking on that one. Cole Roederer, the designated hitter, 1 for 3, a double. 4-2 Midland in this broadcast. Well, so far we are losing daylight as we get in. Boy, Amarillo is down to the bottom half of the 8th inning. They still have their outs left. Well, San Antonio down to their final 3 this evening. And that's going to, right there, swing and a miss. And that is down.
The batter, the third baseman.
Boy, Wichita now getting in, leading Springfield by 9. It's now a 10-1 ball game there in Wichita, which that is pretty good.
Ball 1.
Well, ball 1 the count now. 2 outs left for San Antonio this evening. Rojas was a walk and a run, is 0 for 2. Well, so far a pretty good ball game here tonight in Midland. And that's right there and in for a cold strike, and the count now 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. And the pitch. And that's right there over the first baseman's head, and that's a base hit.
Now batting.
And so far, now the tying run coming in, and that'll bring in William Cedeno, who was also that tying run. Well, anyway, 2 for 3 double single RBI here tonight by Cedeno, the second baseman. So far, I will be joining y'all. Bob and myself will be evidently joining y'all here in this series, and 3 games back in our hometown of San Antonio as well, and that's going to be right there, line drive. And not in time, as that will go down as a fielder's choice on a base hit. So far, the time of our evening is 9:41 p.m. Sun still going down, and yep, the nighttime hasn't fully took effect, but the stadium lights did. Leo Dallas DeVries coming in as he takes a strike. And it's the count now 0-1. He was a double last time up, but it was an RBI for him. He's 1 for 3. Boy, it's top of the 9th for Springfield, and so far Wichita has them on the run. The win surge, 9 runs leading Springfield. It looks like Springfield is going to lose tonight. And the only way you're going to get back in this game is you load up the bases, and 2 grand slams would help you get caught up. But as I say it, merely enough, that's impossible trying to get in there. That's a swing and a miss right there, and San Antonio down to their final strike as, well, final out, should I say. Left fielder Albert Fabian being that final out of the inning. It was 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts and a flyout and a ground out. Boy, and tell you one thing, that Amarillo has their final 6 or final 4 outs remaining, and that's going to be right there, line drive and up to the left field area, and Midland will claim game 2. So our final score 4-2, and San Antonio is now 42-28. So that means that Midland winning their 40th, and it's a tie ball. Well, should I say it's tied ball game against Frisco and Midland. So that right there, pretty good as we end the evening here in Midland. Well, it's hard for me to believe, but I do believe that Wichita is winning the game in Springfield. So they will win their 39th in this one. Springfield now 43-28. So that's an easy decision right there that will give them that win. Arkansas claiming their 37th against Amarillo, and yep, it is almost to the 40th. So if Amarillo loses tomorrow night against Wichita or against Arkansas, I do apologize about that. If Amarillo loses to Arkansas tomorrow night, it's 32-40 for them. But anyway, rough around the edges. There is the final four that are in the 4 and 5 spots. You have Amarillo and Corpus Christi, Northwest Arkansas, and Tulsa struggling a lot. But when Northwest Arkansas winning against Corpus Christi, they are pretty much doing good. Now, the only question is they have 5.5 games to catch up Wichita. So pretty good on that one. But anyway, our two ball clubs that are struggling through the year is Corpus Christi and Tulsa, which that right there, you know, both of those teams, the Houston Astros and Los Angeles Dodgers affiliations, they are just not doing good at all. But anyway, everybody played baseball tonight, and so far, we call it a night as Frisco won against Tulsa. So Frisco Rough Riders 3, Tulsa Drillers 1. Northwest Arkansas Naturals against Corpus Christi Hooks 6-0. Midland 4-2 tonight against San Antonio. Arkansas 11-3. And so far, Wichita look like they got this one in the bag. You know, Springfield down to their final out. And, yep, so far they are just not having it in this ball game this evening. But anyway, going to be a pretty good day tomorrow evening. Thursday, look like Flying Chanclas taking on Midland for tomorrow and Friday both. And then Saturday, it's back up there again. But anyway, we've literally had a pretty good evening thus far. And so far, hope everybody had an enjoyable evening. Well, let's go ahead and give you your runs, hits, and errors. First for the victorious Midland Rockhounds. 4 runs, 7 hits, no errors. And for San Antonio, 2 runs, 8 hits, no errors. Player of the game tonight is Willie McIver, who's 2 for 3, a home run and a double. The win on the mound goes to the reliever Ben Bowden as he will take the W for Midland. Ryan Bergert getting the loss tonight after giving up 7 hits, struck out 8, and gave up all 4 runs. And so far, just not a good night for him anyways. But anyway, we thank y'all for coming in to this broadcast tonight, and so far for our proud sponsors like West Creek Trail Rides in San Antonio, and so far many others as well. Well, anyway, for all of us here tonight, our final score, Midland 4, San Antonio 2. Missions gave up game 2 in this one. And so far, there will always be a tomorrow evening. I mean, let me just say that out of pure curiosity, that there will always be a tomorrow night. So that's pretty good. Well, anyway, and to say we're going to have a pretty good night thus far, and it is time to have a good night rest because we desperately need a good night rest. Well, anyway, everybody had a great day today. It was fun. It was nice to see the clouds really just get in there, and we saw the orange hue from the top of the 5th inning. I do believe that's when everything came in. Well, Wichita scores in the, well, I should say, the winning run and stuff, but anyway, pretty good on that. Well, Amarillo head down to the bottom half of the 9th inning, and yep, 11-3. I do believe that would be a final score right there. Down to their final 2 outs left. Well, Wichita comes in winning 9 runs. And yep, we will definitely take a look at that as well. The Sod Poodles down to their final 2 outs. Wichita scores in 10 on 11 hits. No errors in Springfield. 1 run, 2 hits. So not a lot of hard hit balls for the Springfield Cardinals tonight. For Northwest Arkansas, let's go ahead and see what they did. 6 runs, 7 hits, 1 error for Northwest Arkansas. For Corpus Christi, only 2 hits. That's pure embarrassing right there. That they didn't score in any runs or nothing like that.
He's 1 for 4, Parrot.
Oops, do apologize about that, but anyway. Well, Arkansas, 11 runs, 16 hits, no errors. Amarillo down to their final out. Sod Poodles, 3 runs, 10 hits, 1 error. And so far, it's getting pretty good out in Amarillo, but Arkansas might just be winning the first 2 against Amarillo. I mean, winning last night by a final score 11-1, now winning 11-3. I mean, that could definitely be the possibility right there. Yep, and there you go. Ball games are done for the night. And so far, Arkansas will claim game 2 against Amarillo. And it is 11-3 final. But anyway, for all of us here tonight, thank y'all for tuning in. And we will see y'all again tomorrow night. 7:05 for our first pitch. And yes, let's go ahead and look at the times that we'll have. So it will be a 1 o'clock game on Sunday, which that'd be pretty good as well. So Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night games at 7:05. Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock, which that will be pretty good. Well, anyway, we got to look and see where Midland will be July 1st through the 3rd. It'll be taking on Amarillo. And then coming home and taking on Arkansas on Friday, July 18th. And boy, lucky dogs, they get two North Division teams like Amarillo. Well, not Amarillo. I do apologize about that. They get two North Division teams like Arkansas and Tulsa. Can you believe that? That is just rough around the edges. And for the Rockhounds on Tuesday, August 5th, taking on Amarillo. And then Tuesday, August 19th, they take on Wichita. And then one last time, taking on the Frisco Rough Riders. And then I do believe that Midland has scored a Texas League playoff spot. Wow, so that's pretty good, John. Yeah, it is, Bob. But anyway, kind of rough around the edges. But anyway, I do believe that let's see. We got Corpus Christi, Amarillo, Midland, Springfield, Amarillo, and Corpus Christi with what's left of our home games there in San Antonio, Bob. Yeah, I got to say, John, the season is almost coming to its end. I mean, we've got 3 games against Corpus Christi, and that will be the first half, and then Amarillo and Midland will be the next of those games. We'll have Tuesday, August 5th through the 9th against, the 5th through the 10th against Springfield, and then 6 games against Amarillo, and our final 6 game set against Corpus Christi. And so far, that will pretty much be it for the home games. Now, I do know that 2026 will get a schedule. Everybody gets a schedule in 2026. And so far, we will keep y'all up to date on that as well. And yeah, so far, pretty good. But anyway, our final score, Midland 4, San Antonio 2. And so far, this is the end of our broadcast, so we'll see you all again tomorrow evening.